I was obviously bummed just for the rest of the season, knowing that you're not going to perform or compete. So I guess that was kind of the biggest thing. I had, though, full faith in the Red Sox getting the right doctor to do it. So, surgery really never scared me. I knew that I was going to be in good hands.
All right, guys, we got another episode of To the Show We Go Baseball podcast. Today's guest is Red Sox pitching prospect Cade Feeney. Cade actually spent 2024 pitching in Greenville, where he actually had a pretty good, in his words, half season before getting put on the IL. But Cade, I did want to ask you, obviously, your season obviously got cut short a little bit with an injury and everything, but just want to see how the rehab's going so far and how your off season's kind of been treating you since it started.
Yeah, I mean, off season's been good. Obviously, coming back with surgery, so nothing really major I can do, but just pretty much it's a long road ahead. So you just take it day at a time and see how everything goes.
So obviously with an injury like Tommy John, obviously it's I feel like every fan in America hears about it all the time. I feel like more and more pitchers are getting it. It's just it's becoming more common, I think, as the days go by. That's not a good thing, obviously, but for you, when you found out that you had to go through it, I guess what kind of thoughts were going through your mind when you initially found out?
I was obviously bummed just for the rest of the season, knowing that you're not going to perform or compete. So I guess that was kind of the biggest thing. I had, though, full faith in the Red Sox getting the right doctor to do it. So surgery really never scared me. I knew that I was going to be in good hands. It just sucks that you have to miss all this time of not playing. So, but I knew I was in good hands with the Red Sox doing everything. So
was it full like TJ, or was it the eternal brace, kind of like what Giolito had?
So they actually did both. They reconstructed it, and then they put a brace over the top of it. So it's kind of the new hybrid, I guess, that they've been doing for the last couple of years. So
I guess to piggyback on that, I feel like nowadays you kind of don't know, I guess, what the recovery time is with the newer surgeries and everything. What did they give you as a window of okay, we think that you'll be 100% good to go by such date?
They said 12 to 15 months. So I guess October next year would be 12 months, but obviously there's no season then. So I guess it works out perfect where I'll get a full year and then get a month off before, I guess, your off-season workout. So it kind of will help my arm kind of just catch up and then rest when everything's ready to go and then start fresh that next season.
I did want to ask you, I only have one more question in regards to the TJ, because I know it's a kind of a depressing topic, honestly. But are you have you gotten any advice from any of the I know I mentioned off air, there's a very good group down there, the Hurt group. I think I've heard a few, Alex Bouchard and a couple other guys talk about it, but have you already kind of reached out, heard from them or talked to them about just any of the process?
I haven't. The only kind of, I guess, advice I got was my brother got it, so he's been a big help back home with everything, knowing the struggle, not only physically but mentally of how long of a process it is, and kind of just you feel the tissue breaking up when you're doing stuff and you're like, oh, I don't know if that's good or not. But so he's been a big help. But no, I haven't talked to any of those guys yet, but looking forward to when I get down there and kind of just being a part of that group, I guess, for a year and see where it goes.
I have heard the opposite hand bowling league got pretty intense, I heard. And I think they were doing a putt tournament down there, I think. So I've heard that it gets pretty intense. So I am looking forward to see if you're going to be joining those.
Yeah, we'll I don't know how good of a bowler I am. I'm not even a good bowler right-handed, so lefty's going to be pretty tough.
That's fair. I I think Austin Ehrlicher was telling us that somebody was bowling opposite-handed, like in the 200 still, and I don't even think I can bowl over 150 with my dominant hand. So,
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
all right, well, I want to move on to something a little better. Obviously, what you did in Greenville this year, I had to kind of. I actually said this to Chris too. And I'm like, did you take a peek at just even at his like box score stats and like see what he did in Greenville? Because you obviously it was a smaller sample size, but you still threw 32 innings there. You only walked 2 guys in those 32 innings, which is absolutely impressive. You don't really see that much around minor league baseball. I guess talk about like what worked well for you and like I guess how your first I guess this was your first season in pro ball. So what worked for you and I guess how was the Greenville experience?
Yeah, I mean Greenville's awesome. The staff there, the players, and then obviously just the city and kind of like the fans. I mean, we get a great fan base every game. And just working with Kip and Reynolds, I think that was kind of the biggest kind of key that helped me that season. The first few weeks were kind of tough. I think my first outing, I gave up 3 runs, and it was like a single home run was my first 3 hitters, and I'm like, oh wow, welcome to pro ball. But I think they kind of just helped me settle in and get to what I've been doing and what I'm usually doing. So that was kind of the biggest help to have that type of season.
And I did mention that this was kind of like your first year. I know you got drafted. I know you had appeared in the FCL in 23, but I wasn't really counting that. But what kind of surprised you about affiliate ball? Was there anything that was a little different or like something that you had to get used to pretty quickly?
I guess the only thing kind of getting used to was just like 6 games in a row. Like you can tell yourself and mentally prepare for 6 games a week for however long it is, or 135 games, I think. But it's like you can't be ready for it no matter how much you prepare. I mean, the first 4 weeks felt fine, and then once you get to like week 5, week 6, you're like, okay, like this is starting to become a little grind. And but like it just helps when you got good people around you that show up to the clubhouse and smile on their face rather than everyone just being down. So I guess that was kind of the biggest help.
And I've heard 2 different sides to this. Do you think as a pitcher, especially you that were you came out of the bullpen every game you pitched this year, was it a advantage to you or was it a disadvantage playing 6-game series and facing that same lineup so many times? I can only imagine, I can see it from both sides where batters are like, okay, I've seen this pitcher already a few times, or you're like, I've faced this guy already this series. I know that he likes it, wherever. Like, do you think it's an advantage for you or disadvantage?
I'd say advantage for us just because like given any day, you really like some days your sweeper is sweeping 10 inches. The next day it's 15. So it's like the hitter can say, oh, I seen this guy 3 days ago, but at the same time, it's the situation, the adrenaline, everything, it kind of comes and goes. So like if you go into a game down 6, you want your stuff to be the best, but it most likely won't. If it's a 1-1 ball game, your stuff's going to be usually better then. So I'd say advantage to us.
Okay. And I did just see something as well that your last year at North Dakota State, you started every single game that you pitched in. Obviously, that was very different this year, and you didn't get a single start. How was that? Just not getting the ball like every 5-6 days, whatever it is, as a starter, but just having to be ready. You could go, 3-4 times a week if they wanted you to.
Yeah, there's definitely pros and cons. Starting, you just get into a routine better. But relieving, like it's kind of fun. Like it's more of adrenaline rush. It's more of a, if you go into a tight ball game, it's you kind of like the spotlight. So I guess it's kind of fun being the reliever, but at the same time, it's tough to get in a routine and that kind of. But yeah, relieving's fun. The way you can just come in and either close the door or kind of just blow, I guess, try to like heat, like biggest thing for me was like velo wise as a starter, my velo was down. So it was fun to see my velo go up as a reliever.
What and I saw you had 3 saves as well. Do you I mean, I know you just mentioned a little bit of the adrenaline. Is it like extra adrenaline on top of that being like I am the guy that's coming in the 9th inning to like slam the door and like pick up the save for the team?
Absolutely. There was I remember one outing for sure. I came in with 2 outs in the 9th with 2 guys on just to get 1 out. And obviously, like, it kind of stinks. That's your outing for, I guess, 2 days. But at the same time, like, I want to be in that situation in the 9th inning. So it was, yeah, I wouldn't change my role whatsoever this year. So
I wanted to jump and ask about, you were just talking about like the velo change. Sox Prospects. Well, first, are you familiar with the Sox Prospects website?
Yep.
So on their scouting report, they had you at an 88 to 93 mile an hour fastball. What was like your process to get your velo up for the fastball? And what was because it's hard to get a lot of the minor league numbers for you guys in the lower levels. What was your fastball topping out at as you kind of saw the season progress?
This year it topped out at 95. Average fastball in the year I think was like 93.2, which was up. I think my college average fastball was like 90.8, topping out at 94 a couple of times. So yeah, velo was up, and kind of my biggest thing was mobility, like hip mobility. I came in pretty tight. Like all the trainers know, like when they stretch me, it's not good. So yeah, I got to get moving better. And that was kind of the emphasis that kind of helped with the velo jump.
What kind of things, I guess, there's been a lot of talk, obviously, over the last year, couple years, with the driveline guys now in the Red Sox system. There's quite a few that have those backgrounds. What did you notice, and was there anything new that they introduced to you that you're just like, okay, like that, like analytical wise, or anything that you're just like, I got to get used to this, and or what comes to mind, I guess?
Probably mound plyos. I've always done plyos, just flat ground before throwing. They introduced to us like you do your throwing long toss, and then at the end you hop on a mound and do plyos off of the mound. And that it was like a new constraint for your arm and body to go through. So I see the benefits of it, and there were a lot of benefits it showed with a lot of guys. Yeah, so that was kind of the thing that I had to get used to, is managing that with your throwing. So like if you pitch on Tuesday, Monday you don't want to do, or Tuesday during that game before, you don't want to do a lot of mountain plyos. So.
And I guess to group with that, was there any like analytically driven like stuff that they had you look at and you're just like, this is all brand new to me?
Yeah, they had a player page for us to look at, and it would show like what percentages of usage they would want with 2 strikes. So like say my goal for sweeper would be 60% usage with 2 strikes. And then like I would have my outing, and then they would either tell me if I met it or not, and what I needed to do next time. So yeah, it's just a deeper level on all analytics, whether it's like the usage or pitch location, everything.
Yeah, we just had we sat down with Max Carlson yesterday, and he was pretty much, he went to North Carolina, so like a school in the ACC that their baseball program is pretty good. And he actually admitted, though, he's just like, half of the stuff that they introduced to me analytically wise, or just all this data, he's like, I had to learn what that was literally this past year. So yeah. I do think it's interesting, because I know, you being at North Dakota State, I'm sure that they might not have like as many of the things that the Red Sox have access to. So I didn't know if it was one of those things where it's like, okay, every single thing that they've showed me this year is like pretty new to me. So it always is interesting to hear, if it is brand new and whatever they're doing. So yeah, I was definitely curious about that.
Yeah, lots of learning. That was spring training was kind of tough, just learning everything that quick. But once you kind of broke into the affiliates, it was easier because there's just less people and you kind of get the one-on-one attention and of learning everything. So that was nice.
How was you brought up spring training? How that was your first pro spring training? How was that? Like, how was it being around? Like getting this? I know that you guys have like different locker rooms and stuff than the MLB guys, but how was it to at least like pass by them, see them around? Like, was that kind of cool for you?
Yeah, absolutely. And they're all nice guys. Like they'll say how's it going and kind of either meet you or see like position wise where you play. And if you ask them literally any question about pitching, like they're there to help. And so I think it was a big help just seeing them kind of perform and being there. Whether like I was ball boy for a double-A game, but that was just like Buxton, Correa. We were facing them, so we had I forgot who our pitcher was, but like he was a big leaguer in there for the start. So it was sweet to see that and just pretty much learn and watch. So
were there any names, specific names that you're just like, I want to watch this guy pitch, or I want to try to pick his brain even if you didn't have the chance, but you're just like, I want to like see what that guy's doing?
I guess I've never kind of thought of that. It was like I guess pretty much everyone. Like it was everyone down there. I love learning, so like I just wanted to be around. I guess anyone and everyone. So
all right, Chris, I'm hogging it right now. So no,
you're good. You're good.
Okay. So this got brought up with Max Carlson as well, and I wanted to ask you. He obviously spent a lot of the year in Salem. You didn't ever have to report to Salem, but how did you like Greenville? Like I'm talking the town and like the just I guess everything even off the field.
Yeah, Greenville I would say is top tier. I mean it is beautiful. The apartments they put you in, pool, golf simulator, sauna.
Oh man.
Yeah, it is. It's not fair. And I've never went to Salem, so and they always come when people come up from Salem and they're like, oh, you guys have it so easy, so nice, and I'm like, yeah, I can't really rebuttal it because I've never been there, but yeah, Greenville is a beautiful place.
Yeah, I think it's so funny because Salem's kind of like a little mountain town. It's pretty small. Not like a whole lot to do. The nightlife's probably not that great. Then you go to Greenville and you got the field, which is like literally within walking distance to like a lot of the bars and everything and some really good restaurants out there. And it's like, okay, like, Greenville's kind of a college town. I think there's Furman's there.
Yeah, Furman and Clemson is like 20 minutes away. So
yeah. So it's like, it's got some nightlife and I feel like as soon as you go Salem, Greenville, then you shoot up to Portland for double-A and it's just a whole different vibe. But Greenville is one of my favorite cities that I've been to. So I always have to ask because I know the guys that go from Salem to Greenville, like you said, they're like, holy cow, like I did not know this was here.
Yeah.
All right. So Chris, I have a few like off the field questions, like a little bit of like random get to know you, kind of like what we did last year, but I got a little spin on what we do. Where was a spot that you like to go whenever you didn't have a game or practice? Like, what did you guys do in your free time?
I guess kind of the pool area, the golf simulator. I mean, that was kind of just like a daily thing if we could. But the pool area just to kind of hang out, rest on our day off. A lot of us didn't really want to do much, kind of just let our bodies rest and hang out. So, yeah, we would sit out by the pool, play cards a lot. So yeah, it was enjoyable.
So would you say that your off day activity was, I feel like the two answers I get is video games and golf. Do you fall into that bucket?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, well, now the new Call of Duty came out too, so it's game. And okay. I'm in North Dakota, so not much golf right now, but
yeah. How going back to North Dakota now that you are in professional ball, just had your first season. How different is it for you? Like you get to finally go back after the long season. I mean, you've been gone since probably February, January.
Yep, January.
What is it like being back home and seeing the family, seeing your childhood friends, and is it a little different for you now? Do you have a different perspective?
A little bit. I mean, it's always awesome to come home and see everyone. Only bad part is you miss the best parts of North Dakota with summer. So I'm here when it's cold, but a lot of fun things to do. You catch the end of fishing kind of when it kind of gets bad, and then I guess you get the start of hunting. So it comes and goes, but yeah, I mean, it's amazing to come home, see the family, friends, and just coming from, I guess, Florida and South Carolina now. Yeah, you get a little perspective on things, especially like downtown life, and yeah, it's different.
This is a question that Chris likes to ask, so I'm going to ask it to you. You pitched with a lot of talented guys in Greenville this year. A lot of the guys out of the bullpen, starting rotation. I know a lot of them moved up to Portland. But if you had to kind of pick like one or two guys that you shared the field with this year, either in the bullpen with you or in the starting rotation, and you were just like, you loved watching them throw, you loved everything they did, like who would those guys be?
For reliever wise, it'd probably be Bolden. Got along with him awesome, and kind of just seeing him and kind of just the level head he was, and wouldn't ride the ups, wouldn't ride the downs, and that's kind of what every pitcher kind of strives to be. So he was a great help, especially mentoring too, because he's been a reliever, I haven't, so it was kind of tough. Trying to get ready for a game, I would throw like 25 pitches in the bullpen when most relievers are 12 to 15. So, that was kind of like striving to be kind of him that first few weeks. And then Connolly early, good dude. I roomed with him in Greenville. So, he's awesome to watch and see him throw. So
Early is one of my, I watched him start a game in New Hampshire once he got up to Double-A, and it was one of the best starts I saw all year. And it's like, that guy is incredible, and he's such a good dude too. Big fan of Connolly.
It's the lefties.
I gotta know that
it's the lefties. Every time that there's like we would say when Shane Drowan would throw, with the Woo Sox, for me it was like a must watch, regardless of whether it was inconsistent at times, but just the way the ball came out of his hand, it was electric.
I mean, Cade's a righty here, so we do have love for the righties as well. I got to ask you about another one of your teammates. I know that you had a front row seat to watch this guy. He was in Greenville for a little bit this year, and he absolutely caught social media by storm, and it's Christian Campbell. What were your thoughts seeing that guy do what he did in Greenville, especially with you getting a front row seat?
Yeah, I mean, my first thought is I was like, why is he in Greenville? Because he was tearing it up, and like there wasn't any games you were like, oh, like he's back down to earth. No, he was crazy, and he didn't stop. So it was unbelievable to watch and see him, and just another great guy, like in the clubhouse, super nice, super down to earth. So it's awesome when you see those guys succeed. So.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. You kind of answered it there, but me and Chris were around him a little bit in Worcester, and I caught him a few times when in Portland and New Hampshire, and every time I sat down with him, like he was so down to earth, so relaxed, calm, chill, and just like I'm just here to keep just play this game and everything. And I was curious if he was like that behind closed doors too, like because obviously like we have a microphone or a camera in his face, and it's like, okay, like some guys you just don't know, like if it's like, okay, like this guy's being this way, but is he like this the other way? But is Christian Campbell just like he is behind closed doors?
Yeah, absolutely. He's the same guy on and off the field, and he's like you said, he's just there to play baseball, and it's awesome to see.
Okay, I'm going very random here. I've asked this question to a lot of guys. It's not the chicken question. I asked you that last time, and I feel like some guys are setting me up now. I feel like they kind of know it's my thing, so I don't know if I should keep asking that one anymore. But I got asked this question to me last week, and I've asked a few guys now, and Max Carlson said it tells a lot about the person by how they answer this. So you have 3 fingers, all right, and you have a sauce that's dispensed from each finger. And it's the only sauce that those 3 sauces are the only ones you can ever have for the rest of your life. And you can't have anything else. What would they be?
Oof. I'd go cane sauce, Chick-fil-A sauce.
Whoa. Careful with this. That's 2 of your 3 are like the same thing.
Well, those are my everydayers. Like anything, I can add those onto anything. I don't even know the third one. Maybe just ranch.
I mean, that's a fantastic answer. Ranch you can put on anything too.
Yeah.
That's see, the thing is like you got to have a ranch, some sort of ranch, like whether it's like a barbecue ranch, whatever it is, you got to have something. And then I always think you got to have some sort of mayo.
Yeah.
Like a Chipotle mayo, even if you like something like that. I don't know, but that's wild. Chick-fil-A and cane sauce.
Yeah, it's the best.
I don't remember how you answered that question last year, but has your mind changed living in Greenville on any fried chicken fast food places?
I don't think so. There was a place where everyone went to. Forgot what it's called. I went there a couple times. It's not Cane's. I think Cane's is still top tier.
What was it? His Zaxby's?
It was his Zaxby's. Yeah, like it's like
see, Chris, they're doing this on purpose.
Everyone went there. I can't. It's just not me.
We could put together a roll of all this and send it to Zaxby's. Be like, hey, look,
you do know I'm a Zaxby's guy, right?
Oh, you are.
I didn't, dude. I feel like I'm getting like played at this point because I don't remember who else did it, but somebody was like, "Oh yeah, we went to this place," and I don't know, it wasn't that good. I don't remember the name of it, and I'm just like, it was probably Zaxby's. And he's like, "Oh, that was it," and it's like, yeah, I feel like you guys are playing me now. All right, whatever. I mean,
apparently bottom
tier. It is. Well, Cade, when you're at the complex, there is a Zaxby's less than 5 minutes from the complex, so might need to start getting used to that. All right, I have a couple more. Chris, what do you got emptying the tank here?
Yeah, have you now that the season's been over, have you been following along the MLB playoffs and now with the World Series?
Yeah. I mean, these games have been great.
What was your thoughts on last night with the Mookie and the fan kind of interaction? I'm just kind of curious as to, I mean, I think I pretty much know what players would say about it, but what's kind of like your take on that?
I mean, my take is obviously, like, as a fan, a ball's coming and you're so locked in on the ball that I feel like anyone in that situation is going to want to go for the ball. But as soon as the glove is there and like he caught the ball, like I would just move my hands. There's 0 point on trying to rip the ball out of his glove. I mean, it's not a good look on those guys. And Mookie you could see he was frustrated and very well, like as he should be. So not a good look.
Yeah, I kind of felt that the Yankees should have, like, immediately after that game kind of, condemn that. So that way, because what I feel ends up happening is, well, it looks like they're not going to be able to go to the game. They're going to get their season ticket revoked, but you're going to set up a precedent. You know what I mean? Like other fans have now seen that on the biggest stage, and what's to stop somebody from doing something else? And, I think the Yankees should have immediately dropped the hammer and not wait till Major League Baseball steps in and says, hey, you need to take care of this. So I think it was kind of like a bad look, but I'm with you. Like your normal reaction. Yeah. You swat the ball, whatever. But when you're kind of ripping a baseball, the ball out of the baseball player's glove, and by the way, the other guy has him by the wrist.
Yeah.
A little bit much,
Yeah, definitely.
A little bit much. No, I just really want to ask the World Series one there, Andrew.
You're not gonna ask him about his NFL team that's doing. How are they doing right now?
No, because every time that I bring up NFL, we have commentators who will comment and they're like, "Oh, I don't listen to your podcast for football." But I assume you're the Detroit Lions.
No, Vikings.
Ooh,
Vikings.
I was kind of going with geography, man.
No, because we asked him on the last one, and it was like, okay, growing up in North Dakota, it's like what channels do you get? And it's Minnesota.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's like Twins, Vikings,
Who
T-Wolves, all that.
Who was the Lions? Oh, it was Nogasek.
Yeah.
Right, Nogasek was the Lions. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So yeah, it's all right. I'm rooting for the Vikings this year, to be honest. So
Yeah.
I'm anybody but the Chiefs is my stance. So
I think the Lions are the ones in the NFC that could probably take down Kansas City.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Vikings have gotten really good play out of Sam Darnold, which wasn't expected after losing, the quarterbacks. But I mean, when you have Justin Jefferson,
yeah, with JJ helps, and then obviously Kevin O'Connell, his play calling. If you're in the right system with any quarterback, you can play well. So.
Oh yeah.
And unlike the Patriots, they had a need on the offensive line, and they went and made a trade and addressed that, and didn't have to go up, a ton to do so. So that's not a shot at Elliott Wolf or anything. But.
All right, so I got two left, and we'll let you slide here. It's getting back a little bit more into the baseball side of things, but obviously I talked earlier about the half a season you had, and it was pretty good outcome. Obviously with the injury at the end of the year. If you look back on your 2024 season, what would you say was your biggest takeaway? Now that you're past it, and how would you look at it?
I'd say my biggest takeaway would be kind of just the consistency you need. You have to show up every day with the same attitude, same work ethic, with whether it's mobility, like we do. Mobility is on your own. So like, you can't just come in and do it twice a week. Like, you got to stay consistent, and it helps having good teammates that kind of hold you accountable. So like, you're like, hey, we got nothing to do. Let's go start mobility and all that stuff. So the biggest takeaway is kind of consistency throughout every day. The overall kind of season, a lot of learning. Like I said, the first 2 weeks, it was like a learning curve, kind of figured out kind of how it goes at my routine as a reliever. But yeah, just the coaching staff helps a lot when it's your first year, kind of pushing you along and showing you the ropes.
What were your thoughts on playing for Iggy?
Iggy's awesome. You started out, he kind of looked scary. Like, you're like, oh, like I didn't really know him much. I didn't really talk to him in spring training because I was told I was going to low A, and then like right when the rosters came out, I got bumped up. So I really wasn't told. So I talked to him first week I got there, and yeah, I mean, he's a player's coach. He's awesome. You want him in your corner for sure.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like every level has a great guy in charge. Like, I feel like Chad Tracy, Epperson in Double-A, you got Iggy. It's just incredible the amount of guys that they have, and even Liam in Salem. You got to show some love for him too. I feel like I just hear rave reviews about every single level, like all the coaching staff. It's incredible. I feel like that's not a thing across the entire minor leagues. I feel like it can't be said for every other org. So, all right. So my final question to you here. Obviously, you're about to you have begun a long rehab with Tommy John. I think it would be safe to assume you'll be out the entire 25 season. So let's fast forward to calendar. Let's say you're entering spring training February of 2026. What are you looking forward to the most about getting back to action and just getting back to your normal everyday routine?
I'd probably be looking forward most to just competing, like getting back to that level of someone else other than your teammates in the batter's box. Because that's ultimately why I play baseball. I just love one-on-one on competing. So that's definitely what I'm going to miss most this next year. But yeah, I'll be looking forward to that.
All right, Cade. Well, we appreciate all the time. Obviously, we wish you the best in the journey back, and we know that it's not easy mentally or physically. So we definitely are rooting for you, and we'll see you on the flip side of it. And definitely good luck with the recovery.
I appreciate it. Thank you.